Okay, so good morning, guys. Welcome back. We will continue with our AWS session. Today is AWS day 3 session. And today the date is 23rd of November 2025. And the timing is morning 8 5 p.m. ST. Sorry, AM ST. Okay, guys. So thank you guys for joining this session. So today is Sunday, but still you joined so early morning. Okay, and I'm thankful for that. So, guys, in the day 2 session, right, what we covered, basically we had covered about the cloud services and about the different cloud computing models, right? And what is an advantage you are going to get it when you migrate to the cloud, right? That is what we had discussed, and different types of cloud computing, right? These are the major, four types of cloud computing, like public cloud, private cloud, hybrid, and multi-cloud actually. And also, like we saw some three important cloud service models like SaaS, PaaS, and SaaS actually, IaaS, right? IaaS, PSS, and SS SaaS service. Okay, this is what I think pretty much we had covered in today's session, in yesterday's session actually, day 2 session. So today we are going to continue from where we are left. So let us try to continue because we have to still discuss some of the things about the AWS regions, AWS availability zone. So some of the concepts are pending. We have to cover that. Before we get into that, let us try to see, like, suppose you are working on a cloud, or you will always see there are two different types of work what you will find in cloud engineering. So when you want to get into the cloud engineering or purely into the work, what kind of a different works you have? So if you let me open MS Paint. So this is your cloud. Like, assume that this is your AWS cloud. So you might have a question that, like, what kind of different kind of work we are going to get it when I want to get into this cloud engineering, right? So basically there are two types of work are there, guys. One we call it as a brown field, and other we called it as a green field actually. These are the two types of work. So one we have something as a brown field, and other is a green field actually. Now, what is the difference between brown field and a green field? See, basically, when you say about the brown field, usually what happened, right? Basically, there are a lot of projects are there which are already running in the companies. Like, for example, if you want to take an application, like, for example, you have a company which is hosted the Book My Show application, or as there is a company known as Swiggy or Zomato who are running their businesses, right? So they might be running their application in their own on-premises data center, right? Now the thing is that actually that when these companies were already their business is already running, and somewhere in some infrastructure or in their own data center, they have hosted their application and everything, and they're running it. Suppose they want to migrate to the AWS cloud, right? So AWS cloud will provide all the services for doing a migration of your application, which is running your on premises to your AWS cloud. So whenever you are trying to do any kind of a migration onto an existing application which has already been running, then that we call it as a brownfield, right? So projects which are already running, right, and which you want to migrate to AWS cloud, that we call it as a brownfield actually. So usually what happened, right, in the brownfield kind of a work actually, you will find a lot of migration activity. Migration activity. For example, you want to migrate the application and the data, you can migrate it. You want to migrate the virtual machines VM, we can migrate it. You want to migrate the databases, yeah, you can migrate it. So these are the different kind of things which you migrate from your on premises to the AWS cloud actually. And how you migrate it, how AWS will support to migrate it, because AWS has a lot of services which you call as a migration services actually. So with the help of those migration services, you can able to migrate all the current running application which is outside the cloud. You want to migrate to the AWS cloud, means you can use that service actually. So as part of our course, guys, we will be having one or more, around 2 to 3 sessions where I'll be showing you the migration activity also. So basically, in the migration, we have three types of migrations. As like, what are those? One is a data migration. Other is a virtual VM migration, we say. and the third is the database migration. These are the main important three migrations which we always do it actually, right? And why they migrate it actually, why they do migrate to the AWS cloud. So we already discussed many times, guys, from last two sessions that there is a lot of advantages there when you try to migrate into AWS cloud. You're going to get a lot of security. You need not to really manage all the things, all those operation costs, whatever you were spending all these days, right? In managing your own data center, you'll get rid of from those operation cost. Plus, what happened, right? You can achieve all kind of scalability, automation, like all those elasticity, whatever we discussed, those terminologies, right? All those things you will be able to achieve very easily if you are working on the cloud. So that's the reason what happened. Most of the customers, you could see that nowadays that they are all moving to the cloud itself. It could be any cloud. It could be Azure cloud. It could be AWS or it could be GCP. Any cloud they can choose to migrate it actually, right? And I've been telling many times that many companies are there still they have not planned, but they are yet to plan. They are starting the projects of no migrating all their applications from their on premises to the cloud actually. So hence what happened, right? You could see that in next 5 to 10 years, you will see that many companies will start doing migration activity. So you will have a lot of work related to the migration activity also. So this is one kind of a work where you will see, right? But when it comes, right, this is what brownfield we say. What about the greenfield? So greenfield is something where, like, for example, you want to start the project from the scratch itself, actually. Suppose there are many startup companies will come up, right? Startup companies are there. You could see that everywhere, like even in India, like in Bangalore or in Hyderabad, or if you take a consideration, if you take a case of Japan, actually, even many companies are there who are very new startup companies. No, they start up in Japan, actually. In Tokyo, they start the business, actually, right? Like something like they are having a food delivery application, they want to do it, right? They are designing the food delivery applications, uh, like uh, at Japan actually. So what they do basically, right, they when they are setting when they are trying to they want to develop such applications, so they need a platform to develop it actually, and they need all kind of resources. So again, they cannot invest the money, a huge invest money. They cannot do it on setting up the data centers or purchasing the, servers, purchasing all kind of hardware resources. They cannot do all such things. So they need a ready-made. They need a service where through that service they can able to easily work on the project. Actually, that's what happened. They will choose the cloud. So what that company will do that they will go and they'll try to create an account in AWS cloud, okay, and then with the help of the account, what happened, they'll start developing the application. So what that startup company will do that they will sit in the cloud itself and they'll try to develop the whole application. So usually what happened, like some of the startup companies, what they do, right, they try to develop all the projects sitting under the cloud itself, because again, when they want to develop that applications onto the cloud platform, they need lot of softwares. They need a software development kit software SDK. They need actually, and then they need some kind of a serverless services. They need actually. They need databases for storing all the data. Then sometimes some of the things they might need virtual machine. They need storage. See, they need so many kind of resources they need it actually. So that can be completely fulfilled by your AWS actually. So hence what happened at most of the startup companies, new projects starts from the scratch. Okay, so they call that is nothing but it's a greenfield actually, right? So that's what happened, right? We call them as something like a cloud natives applications. Cloud native application means those applications which are developed from the scratch, sitting inside the cloud only. Those we call as the cloud native applications, actually, right? And you will see many companies have come forward where they have, particularly startup company, I'm saying that they've started developing all their applications from the cloud itself, actually, right? Of course it will cost some price actually for using all those services, but ultimately what happened, right, what the easiness of getting all these services is very like simple when it comes to the cloud. The same thing you want to achieve everything without cloud means it would be quite complex, right? And the huge investment is required actually. So those startup companies, they need not to really worry about all these services because they will easily get to the cloud actually. Only they need to worry about is not but their no development activity. Whatever they are developing that application, right? Only they have to concentrate only on that itself, right? So these are the two activities, guys, which usually these are the two kind of works you will see that. So many times what happen when you enter into an organization as a cloud engineer, you might end up working with a lot of migration activity, or else in some companies what happening that you might go and join some company where already some migration activity is going on. So you'll become a part of that migration activity and you will continue with that ongoing project only. Right. Sometime you'll be hired for the project where you need to do all the work from the scratch only. It means that from the very beginning, it means that some company thought that okay, they got some project from client where they want to start doing that migration activity. So what they'll do that they will hire all expert persons from the who have an expert knowledge in cloud engineering and all right, and also who has a very good knowledge on migration activity. They will try to select all those candidates and they will take it, and you will see that those cloud engineers they will start working from the very beginning itself, all the migration activity. So that is good that because you'll be learning everything from scratch, right, for the migration activity. And a migration activity also, guys, there are so many services are there which will be involved in using those services for migration. So even that field also is very good. If you get such kind of a project where you'll be involved on the migration activity, it will be very good for your profile, right? And the second thing is that sometime what happened that the cloud engineer will be hired in an organization, but the cloud engineer will be used to work on a project from the scratch itself. Like he might get selected in some startup company, right? So in the startup company, what happened, right? They need a cloud engineer who can do all the setups because they want to develop the application from the scratch, right? So they need to set up all those resources what is required for them to start developing the application. So in that case, what happened that they will give all kind of a like information to the cloud engineer saying that okay, this is what our architecture should be. You please get and set up everything in our account. So whatever the AWS account which they have created by that startup company, they will give that access to that cloud engineer, and that cloud engineer what he will do that based on the architecture and based on what kind of requirement is needed for to develop that application. Plus, in the near future, if your business expands, right, there should be scope that even you can expand your resource also. Whatever the resource you have created, there should be so some kind of a scalability should also be added on when you are designing this whole architecture. So the cloud engineer will understand everything, and based on the requirement, like he will set up the whole architecture, the whole setup he will do either through manually or through the automated way. So nowadays nobody does manually, even setting up the servers, setting up the front end infrastructure, back end infrastructure. So you cannot do everything manually, right? You need to use either the cloud formation templating to do that, or else you have to go with Terraform or Puluvi, any kind of a infrastructure as a code tool, right? You have to use for creating the infrastructure. So even the cloud engineer will be involved in using all those tools for doing an automated task actually. So it means that Rajesh, whether the cloud engineer have to learn or has to know about the Terraform, yes, sir, he has to know about the Terraform. Or whether suppose the organization says that okay, we will be working completely only on AWS only, then you learn the cloud formation templating, use the cloud formation templating for creating the infrastructure. So in our course, guys, we will have a separate service known as cloud formation templating. I'll be taking some 6 to 8 sessions only on cloud formation templating. That is also quite good for us, all of us to learn through a cloud formation templating how I can create the resource actually, right? That I will see later, not now. You will not see cloud formation templating next 2 to 2.5 months. You will not see it after 2.5 months. Once we complete the major services, all the things, right? Then you will see that I'll be taking one topic on cloud formation templating where I'll spend around 1 week of time to explain you how the cloud formation templating works. So once you have a knowledge on cloud formation templating, once you have a knowledge on Terraform, guys, you have to put both these services in your resume and so say that actually I was also involved in creating the infrastructure using the cloud formation templating as well as using the Terraform. So that is a very important. You have to put in your resume. Am I clear, sir? So these are certain kind of a work activity which this is one of them. I'm saying there are many other work are there, guys, which the cloud engineer will do in the organization, right? Say for example, there are many work are there where the cloud engineer does more frequently. Like for example, more frequently he will try to do it actually. Say, for example, you might work in a company where they are building a lot of AI images. They are building a lot of AMI images actually. So AMI image, Amazon machine images, we say actually AMI images. So those cloud engineer what they do, right? They'll be involved in daily, no, daily they'll be involved in doing creating this new images, which it is required actually. So the more frequent, it means that every day, almost every day, most of the people will be involved. Some of the cloud engineers will be involved in those projects where they want to create a lot of EMI images on a day-to-day activity. So that could be the project requirement, right? So it is something like more frequently. Every day you'll be doing it, and many times what happened, the cloud engineer will be doing a lot of routine work actually. As soon as he logs in, he need to do some perform some activity. So he will be doing all those activity as a daily basis actually, right? So apart from this, there are many other are there which the cloud engine might do frequently in a week, like in an alternate day, or in a week, or in twice in a week, like that they'll do. Right? There are many activities are there. Like for example, taking a backup of all the database data, right? You want to take a backup, you want to take a backup of all your important data, right? From one region to other region, you want to take a backup actually. So in that case, what happened? You will be taking a backup of all the data frequently, it's once in a week or twice a week, right? That is something like it's not like daily basis. Like based on the requirement, he will try to take the backup of all the important data, okay, weekly twice or like weekly thrice basis actually. Again, there also what happened, he will not do it manually. Manual doing again, it's a day pain. They will enable some kind of an automation. Maybe they will write some Python code to do all those automated way in an automated way. So he will just trigger that code actually to take the backup of all that tasks, right? And sometimes what happened that there are some work are there which the like which the cloud engineer does it very rarely, once in a month, something like that, or once in a requirement. Say for example, um, you want to do some kind of an upgrade actually, or you want to upgrading the system, you want to do, right? You want to do some kind of a patching. This is not the daily activity. This comes once rarely, once in 2 months or 3 months, based on the requirement. He will get the job, even he has to do that upgrading or patching also, right? So there are a lot of different kinds of works are there, guys, where the cloud engineer will be involved in his day-to-day activity. Am I clear, sir? Is it fine, sir? Any questions you have?
No, Rajesh.
No, Rajesh.
Good. Now, fine. So now, guys, so we have to, like, what is the next topic now? We have to discuss about what is the AWS region and what is availability zone. This is something which we all have to learn or understand it. Availability zones. Okay, we call it as an AZs actually. Availability zone actually. And what is this region or availability zone? Let us try to understand it. Now, before getting into understand, guys, I already told in the first session or in the second session that all of us have to have an AWS account. So please create an AWS account, right? It is very much important now that we all of us have to have a AWS account. And also like we know about like what kind of a credit we are getting. Like if we get 100 credit, $100 a credit, or else you'll get $200 a credit. Majorly, most of the services we can practice in that 100 or 200 credit. But later what happened, right? When you are trying to do some practice on some other service, like you are trying to practice on pipeline, like code pipeline, or you're using to practice something on migration activity. Maybe like at the time you might have all your credit score, right? Whatever, not score, all the credit amount what you have, right? You would have got exhausted with that actually. So what you can do next is that either you can continue with your account itself, the same account, but you need to pay a little bit, a little bill every month. Maybe if you're practicing thoroughly, you might get maximum, hardly you might get between 800 to 1000 rupees a monthly bill you might get. Or else if you can't even spend that much also, what you can do that you can close that account, you can create a new account actually. But when you're creating a new account, that time what happened that you need to have a new email ID, you need to have some separate phone number you need to have, because all authentication, everything happens through the mobile number only, right? So you need to have new mobile number, new mobile SIM. You can take your family mobile number. You can create a new email ID, as well as you need to have a new card, either the debit card or credit card. You need to have a separate card. So that I don't know, like how many people will have how many cards. Usually I have only one card, so I can't create more than one account, right? So suppose you have two, three cards, different cards you're having. Yeah, definitely you can use it, and you can create one more new account and start practicing it. right? If that is not the case, please continue with your same account, and then like you pay the monthly bill, whatever you're getting it. And guys, when you are learning something, like when you're learning some very good things, you're learning, spending 500, 600 rupees per month is not a big deal actually, right? We can spend that much money. Only the thing is that actually you will get a platform where you can learn it actually. So you will learn all those important stuff, services, everything in the AWS account, right? So there's nothing bad in spending some money, right? So so you need to have an AWS account. So if you try to see here, I already have an AWS account, guys. So let me go to my AWS account. So always, whenever you want to log in, you have to just say console.aws.amazon.com. This is the URL you need to give it actually. So it'll open the console page. And you can see that because since I created my account, okay, I am a user, I am a root user. So I will be logging in my account as a root user itself. So this is my email ID. So Rajesh-Devops batch 02, right? This is the email ID. I'll just say next. It'll ask me for the password. Let me give my password. Once I give the password, now when I say sign in, you could see that actually it is taking to one more authentication we call as an MFA, multi-factor authentication. So it is always better, guys. You should have a multi-factor authentication enabled. I will have a separate session on this. Don't worry. But right now, you just consider that in my mobile. Okay, let me check where is my mobile. Okay, so in my mobile, I have installed the application which is a Microsoft Authenticator. You can even install Microsoft Authenticator, or else you can install the Google Authenticator, or you can even install the Okta. Right? Anything you can use it actually. For MFA, you can have a Google Authenticator app, or else you can have a Microsoft Authenticator,
週間、
うん
東京、1
or you
月、
can have a Okta. Any authenticator, any app you can install in your
12
mobile.
月、12月
One
は
second,
チームでも
guys.
らう。
Yeah. So you can install it, and then basically what you can do that you can you'll be able to once you authenticate once you install these apps, actually you have to authenticate it. Okay. So in my case, you could see that it is asking for me to give a MFA code. So let me open my app in my mobile. So I have opened the Microsoft app. Okay, and just click on it. It generates a one-time password code. So let me give the password code. The value is 264916. Yeah, just sign in. So guys, you could see that actually I'm able to log into my AWS account, right? So this is my console homepage actually, right? And you could see that actually like I have landed into the region known as Northern Virginia. So this is one of the region which I have logged in actually, right? And United States, where you have some like you have some regions actually, Northern Virginia, Ohio, Northern California, Oregon. These are the four major regions where the AWS have set up actually, right? This we call the regions actually, and each and every region has a unique naming convention, like US-East-1. It is a Northern Virginia. Northern California, US-West 1. Oregon, US-West 2. These are the region names we say. Even like for Mumbai, you could say AP-South-1. For Osaka, it is AP-Northeast 3. For Tokyo, it is AP-Northeast 1. So you could see that these two regions are there in Japan actually, right? Similarly, in Mumbai, you are having this region. And of course, if you come down, I think you are having, where is Mumbai? Where is Hyderabad region? It was operations. It was under operational actually. How come they removed it? There are 17 regions that are not enabled for this account. Oh, what are the 17 regions? Maybe okay, I have to set it up, I think, manually. Okay. So which are regions for my account, Rajesh, right? Which are a bit disabled. If you come down Asia Pacific, Hyderabad, it is not disabled, right? You have to go click on it here and you have to say enable. It might take some time for enabling actually, or else it might instantly happen actually, right? So right, these are the enabled guys. But whereas the other regions are there which are a bit disabled, which is not required for me, right? If I need it actually, I can enable it. Like for example, if I go to the Israel, Tel Aviv, I'll go and I'll try to enable it actually. I need it, okay, I will try to do enable actually. right? So once you enable it, okay, you come back here. So you could see that you are under the AWS billing. Don't worry about all this, guys. Billing and costing and AWS, this is a separate class. I will take it for you. Like for example, you have a cost explorer, right? And also there is something like cost optimization. How you can involve in cost optimizing for for your project actually. Those are very very important things which will be asked in interview. Even for me, the recent interview where I gave the interview, right, recently, from past 1 week, right? I've asked one common question: how do you optimize it? What kind of a measure you take to optimize the billing? Actually, suppose you are working on a project, and right, you need to give all kind of a best practices for optimizing the cost. Actually, am I clear, sir? Now, if you go back here, I'll go to the services, all services. I'll go to the home, right? Okay, so you're still under the billing and cost console homepage. You could see that now I'm in a Northern Virginia, right? You are under that region. So if you click on here, now you can see that it will take time, guys. It will take around some time to get enabled here, Hyderabad region. I just enabled it. It will take some time. Okay. After some time, you will see that it will be displayed over here actually. Am I clear? The Hyderabad region will be displayed over here in this list actually. Clear? Fine. Even like the Israel's Tel Aviv, right? That will also get displayed over here after some time. Okay. Fine. Now, so what I was saying that actually that when you logged into your AWS console, you will land onto your console homepage. So inside the console homepage, what happened by default, you will be landing into some region actually. So the region here which I've logged in is I'm sitting under Northern Virginia region. So this is one of the region in United States where I know I have logged in. So Rajesh account has logged in here, and he can create any kind of a resource what is needed in his Northern Virginia. Suppose you say that, Rajesh, I don't want to work on this Northern Virginia. I want to go to the APF and South one, that is Mumbai region. You can click here. It will shift to the Mumbai region actually. You could see that now you are under Asia Pacific Mumbai region. So now the question comes to our mind, right? Something might come to our mind that like Rajesh, like I was under Northern Virginia, right? So you can create the resource there only, right? Whatever the resource is required, right? You can create the resources actually. Right. So there is a terminology, guys, in AWS. We call it as a services and resources. Now, what is this? We always hear these two terms, services and resources, when it comes to particularly when it comes to the cloud, right? Or when you are discussing about AWS cloud, we come up with services and resources actually, right? Services is something where the services is provided by the cloud actually, right? For example, for AWS cloud, it is giving more than 200 plus services actually. 200 more than 200 plus services are provided by the AWS cloud, right? Say for example, like I want to create a virtual machine, I want to create a VM, or I want to create a virtual machine. So Rajesh, how I can create this virtual machine in AWS? So you need to use a service by name EC2, Elastic Cloud Compute Service. So that is a service you have to use it to create the virtual machine. Similarly, I want to create a load balancer. I have to use a service known as Elastic Load Balancer Service. We call it ELB. Similarly, I want to create a serverless service. I need to have a serverless. For that, you need to use a Elastic Beanstalk service. So for any kind of your requirement, guys, whenever you want to achieve it, you have to use some service which is provided by that particular cloud provider. Like in case of here, it is EC2 service, it is a ELB service, serverless. Suppose you want to create any kind of a storage, you will have a service known as the S3 bucket. The S3 is a storage service you have. You want to create a file system, you have an EFS file system, EFS service you have. Like that, there are more than 200 plus services are there. Now, using that service, when you create the things, when you create a, suppose you are using the EC2, when you're creating an EC2 service to create a virtual machine, and that virtual machine, whatever it has been created, that we call it as a resource actually, right? So for every service, what you use, whatever you get it out, that is nothing but the resources we say. And always usually what happened, right? The resources are managed by the AWS cloud. Management said it will always keep track of all those resources, what is created by AWS cloud actually. right? So it will create an object for that, and with the help of that object, it will try to manage that resource actually, or it will try to keep a track of that resource, whatever it has been created by the user. And one of the simple thing which it will manage all kind of resource with the help of an ARN number. So what is this ARN number? We will discuss in some time, not now. So through an ARN number, for any kind of a resource which has been created by your AWS cloud, it always maintain some kind of an ARN number for that particular resource. Is it clear, sir? So now coming back here, what I said, right? Now, so these are the two terminologies we will always use: service and resource. Service is something which is provided by the cloud. So once you use that service, whatever you are going to get out of from that service, that is nothing but the resource, and every resource will have a unique ARN number. Am I clear, sir? ARN means Amazon resource number, we say. ARN, Amazon resource number, ARN. So Rajesh, is the same thing is there in Azure also? Yes, sir. It is there the same thing in every cloud, right? Am I clear, sir? So for every resource what you create in Azure, you will get some kind of a object ID you're going to get. Some object ID you're going to get. That object ID will be under some subscription ID. That subscription ID will be under some subscription like that. So that would be the hierarchy in which it manages or maintain all kind of resources what the Azure cloud creates. Same thing with the Google Cloud. Same with the DigitalOcean. Any cloud vendor you take, they have some kind of way of managing all these resources, and they maintain it with the help of something like an ARN number in case of AWS. Right? In case of Azure, it's a object ID it creates actually for everything. Right? Good. Okay. Now, once you do it actually, okay. So once you authenticate it, so you need to do a second level authentication security for the security purpose. You do it actually. Right, this is something. And when it comes to the real time, right, like when you are working on a real time project where some client is authenticating to the AWS account and everything, right, there you will see that they will be using something like they will be using either SAML, or they'll be using something like SSO, single sign on. So AWS has those services, knows the AWS single sign on service, SSO services. We will be discussing about all those things, right, in our upcoming sessions, right? So usually whenever the customer logs in, right, so they use this SSO services for authenticating into their account actually, right? Fine. Now, okay, what else, guys? Mhm. Fine. Apart from this, see, whatever we are doing, guys, with this AWS, we will be doing everything through the GUI way only. Through the GUI. GUI means all kind of a services, whatever you are using that services, right? Those services we can access with the help of an AWS account, right? So it means that basically what happened, right? Usually in AWS, we have something the AWS organization. So that's the service. With the help of an AWS organization, you can create multiple AWS accounts, right? Usually, right? So that multiple accounts, what happened, right? You will be given an access. So suppose you join, suppose you join as a cloud engineer in the company, you will be given some account actually, right? So you will be given account. So through that account, what happened, right? You can able to manage, you can able to create the resources. You can able to create the resources under your account actually. So we will have a separate session on this AWS organization. What is AWS organization service? How to create a multiple accounts? Everything we will be seeing in our upcoming session. Okay, this is also quite interesting topic. In almost most of the interviewer, they'll ask you about, have you worked on AWS organization? Have you created the accounts, multiple accounts? How many accounts were there in your projects actually? How do you manage it actually in an efficient way? Or okay, what kind of a billing you used to get for per account actually? Why in your project you had some four account or five account? What is the need of having so many accounts? So all such kind of a cross question they will ask you, so that they want to just know that whether he has worked like in the AWS or not. For that reason, they will ask you so many questions. So we will try to discuss all those things, guys, when we try to come across the AWS organization. Maybe in some time after I complete the AWS networking, right? Maybe after 15 session, I will try to take two sessions to cover up all these things actually. Okay. So now, so usually what happened, right? A user who got an account actually, he basically logs in it. He will be logged in it. Basically, he will not be logged in as an IAM user or the root user. Sorry, he will not be logged in as an IAM root user. Basically, he will be an IAM user actually. So he will log in as an IAM user into this AWS account, and he will start creating the resources what is required. So again, while creating resource, you need to make sure that that particular user, IAM user, should have permissions to create all those resources. So how we are going to get all those permissions? Because there is some service on the IAM service, identity and access management service. With the help of identity and access management service, you will be able to create all kind of rules, right? Policy settings, everything you can do it. This is again, it's a separate topic, guys. After our AWS networking, I'm going to start with an IAM service. Very, very important for all of us. Okay, when it comes to the security point of view, the first level of security point of view, when it comes to is to understand about how you are providing a security in when it comes to the IAM itself. So when you're creating an IAM user, you are giving a fine granularity permission, like or the policy setting to the account to the user itself. Actually, that itself is a first stepping stone of security, right? So this we have to learn in a very in detail way. IAM services and everything. I might take around 4 to 5 sessions in covering up IAM service. Very important, guys. All of us have to really concentrate more. And in interview, for sure, you will be asked 2 to 3 questions on IAM actually, right? Okay. What is STS assume role? Like that, they will ask you. What is this assume role is all about? That's a very common question they'll ask you, right? What is one more is there? What is it? What is it? One question is that I've forgotten. Association, something like they'll ask that question. So, what is a federated user? What is the difference between IAM users and the federated users? So, there are many questions are there related to IAM. I will discuss all those questions also with all of you on when it comes to IAM actually, right? Fine. So now the thing is, guys, actually that now why I'm saying all these things because that it's not that when you have an IAM user, like suppose you are given an access to your AWS with the help of adding your by providing an account to your IAM user. So when you logged in it, you will be doing all the things through the GUI actually. It's graphical user interface. Like for example, you will go here, you will try to click on it like this, and you will try to go and create the resources what is required for your project, right? You will be start working on it. But usually what happens, sometime what happened, right? You will not be given a GUI access actually, right? There what happened, that you will be given a CLI access actually. Command line interface we say. So what happened, guys? So being a cloud engineer, you should have both the knowledge. You should know how to work on a GUI, right? And also you should also have a knowledge on the AWS command line also. So please be prepared to even to work in such an environment where you will be only working on a command line only. There will not be any GUI at all. So there are many projects are there like that in an organization where no GUI will be given for you, only the CLI, right? And you need to know all the CLI commands related to your project work, what you are related to the services, what you use it, like EC2 services, what is the CLI command, S3 bucket, what is the CLI command, IAM user, what is the CLI command. So there's a heavy documentation is available in the official Amazon website itself, where you get all kind of a AWS CLI commands, man pages, documentation, everything. So you should be well versed with that actually, and also you should be able even you should able to even do an automation also on that. It's not only executing the command, you need to take all those commands, what you do, put it in some kind of a shell script or put it in some PowerShell or put it in some Python script and then just automate it and then run that script actually so that you are achieving the complete automation. So this is what they also expect from the cloud engineer, that you should have a knowledge on automation also, right? For example, when you're working on Python, you should know those Boto3 libraries. Using Boto3 libraries, basically you can connect, you can authenticate to the AWS account, and you can able to run that script, Python script, whatever it is written. Similarly, you need to know about the PowerShell scripting, or sometime you might be using the shell scripting, right? All such things you need to be, you should have a knowledge, guys, when you are working in the cloud actually, right? Okay, good. Now, coming back here, like let us understand about what is AWS region all about, right? Here you could see that, guys, when as soon as I logged in, I just told you that like we landed in some region actually, right? So let us try to see that what is this region is all about actually, right? Now, if you go to the Google, And here you just type AWS dot infrastructure. So you will see that this is the global infrastructure. You can open this site. Let me open this site. Right? AWS global infrastructure. Yeah, this is what it is. They'll be keep changing, guys. This website will be keep changing. Now you could see that actually this is your entire global infrastructure, AWS global infrastructure. And they could see that actually that you will see that there are 120 availability zones are there across 38 geographical regions actually. So there are 38 regions are there, right? In the 38 regions, how many availabilities are there? There are more than 120 availability zone AGs are available actually. Now, what is this region is all about? A region is something, it is a geographical location actually. It's a geographical location. By the way, region is not termed as a country. If you say that Rajesh, US is a country, yes, US is a country, no doubt. But you cannot say US as a region actually, a single region, because in US again, what happened? There are multiple states are there. Like for example, you are having a Virginia, Northern Virginia is a place in US. You are having a Northern California, Oregon is a place actually, and also there's a place also, what is that? Ohio, right? Ohio. There's a region actually. Similarly, in Japan, right? You cannot say Japan as a region, a single region, because in Japan itself, what happened, right? You're having a place in Tokyo where Tokyo is now called as an AWS region, right? Similarly, you have a Osaka. Osaka is a region actually. Right. So you cannot term region as a country, a single country, because in a single country, you have multiple regions actually, right? In case of US actually, you have four regions in that actually, right? What are those four regions? North Virginia, Ohio, what is it? Northern California, and and what is it actually? After the Northern California, what is it, guys? One more. Oregon. Yeah. Right? So this Northern Virginia is a region, you say. Ohio is a region. Northern California is a region. So this is something we call the regions actually. Right? Now, if you go here, now you could see here, sorry, if you see here, so this is the Northern America. And under Northern America, you will see that there are so many are there actually, like some of the things which has newly come up, guys. But you will see that USF and West, Oregon is there. You will see that Northern Virginia, USF and East, because of Northern Virginia, you have a Northern California, which is USF and West, as well as you have a this one. These things, right? Mexico, Central, Canada, these are all have newly come up now actually. Apart from this, there are some edge locations are there. There are 31 edge locations are there. We will discuss about this edge location later. Very, very important. We need to understand about what is this edge location. So in many of these regions, suppose you take a particular, a particular region like in North America, you have 31 edge locations are there. Right. Similarly, if I go to the other region, like for example, if I go to the Asia Pacific, if you go to Asia Pacific, so you could see that in Asia Pacific, in India, you have a Mumbai region. Okay, so AWS Amazon has set up in Mumbai, they have set up the data center or the region here. Similarly, you have in Hyderabad actually. When you come over here, you could see that there is in Thailand, there is in Malaysia, right? There is in Singapore, and there is a Jakarta in Indonesia. You have, and similarly, you have something here in Osaka, in Tokyo, right? Here in Taipei, right? You have, right, in Hong Kong, in Beijing, like that. You have these regions actually. So these are nothing but these are all the different regions which have been set up by your Amazon actually. So in Asia Pacific, you could see that actually there are 23 edge locations over there. Like for example, in Bangalore, there's an edge location. In New Delhi, there's an edge location. In Osaka, Japan also, you have an edge location. In Bangkok, in Chennai also, there's an edge location. Pune also, it's an edge location. So there are multiple edge locations are available. In Kolkata, there are edge locations are there. So what is the use of these edge locations? Yeah, it is interesting. We will learn about this in our upcoming session, right? So in Asia Pacific, there are 13 regions are there. If you expand it, You will see that in Osaka it is there, in Seoul, in Taipei, in Thailand, Tokyo, in Mumbai is also there, as well as in Hyderabad is also there, right? Hyderabad, I think in 2022 that operation got started. Before that, only one region was Mumbai was there. Afterwards, they added it. Now they added in Hyderabad also, right? Okay. Now, one thing is very clear, guys. One thing what I have to understand, Rajesh, like under the Asia Pacific, right? I have a Mumbai region, and next to me, very near to me, is Hyderabad. Okay. Apart from this, which is the nearest region for me, which is having, you can go with either Malaysia or Singapore, right? Or either your Thailand. These are the most, these are the very, very, when it comes to distance wise, these are the nearest regions which is there near to India, actually, right? Similarly, for your Japan, actually, Osaka and Tokyo are there, but near to this, actually, which is the region which is near to that, which is not but Seoul, actually. So why I'm saying this, because guys, usually you might have heard about something disaster recovery setup, right? Usually what they do, right? Suppose that some kind of a banking application is developed by some company in Tokyo, actually. So what happened, right? They had set up the whole entire setup, everything in the Tokyo region. Now they will try to keep a disaster recovery in the Osaka region. Similarly, they'll also try to keep one more disaster recovery in Seoul also. Because assume that for some reason this Tokyo region, due to some natural calamity, assume that the whole data center, the whole region, it got collapsed actually. But still, what happened? You have to give the service to the end customer. What happened? The service will be provided by the Osaka region. If everything is gone, yeah, it will be given from the Seoul region. So for the disaster recovery, they will try to set up near to your region, whichever the needs are available, right? There they will try to give that disaster recovery setup, everything they're going to do it actually, right? Similarly for India, these two regions will be there. Apart from that, you will choose Singapore region where you will have a completely disaster recovery setup for your entire architecture, what is running here, right? That you will try to keep it in here under the Singapore region. Clear, guys? Now, what is this region is all about? As I said, right, it is something like it is a geographical location, right? It's a geographical location where Amazon have set up the data centers actually. Right? So, for example, if I take an example of US, that is the US region, right? In the US, actually, you are having four regions actually: Northern Virginia, Ohio, California. Assume that you're going with the Northern Virginia. This is the region which you're selecting it actually. Now, usually what happened, guys, when the Amazon started their business, right, what basically they did, right, they tried to set up the big data centers actually. And the first place which they choose to set up the data center is Northern Virginia only. This is the first most place where they set up the data center actually, right? Now here, if you go to your Northern Virginia, and the Northern Virginia, the code is US-East-1 actually. Right? This is the coding. This is the naming convention, right? US-East-1. So in the United States, you are having Northern Virginia place. Under that region is called US-East-1, right? Now, if you come down here, can you see that there is something like a zones is available? And you could see that there are 6 zones are there. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4, Zone 5, and Zone 6. There are 6 zones are there. And all these zones are under operation actually. They all are available and they are in the operation actually. And each and every zone, okay, it is represented by some naming convention. Like Northern Virginia is US-East-1. Zones will be US-East-1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F. This is how they will give the naming convention, right? So here what happened, right? In the Northern Virginia region, there are 6 availability zones. AGs are available, right? So in each region, you will find more than 3 availability zone. We call it availability zone, which is separated in a span of between between 60 to 100 miles, 100 kilometers. Right. So now, if you take Northern Virginia, like for example, if you take Northern Virginia has six availability zones, AZs we say. So it means that actually that in the Northern Virginia regions, they have set up the six data centers. Big data centers actually, and all the six data centers, guys, they are actually in a distance of between 30 to 60, or sometime it will be little. They'll not go beyond 60 kilometers, but minimum they will be less than 60 kilometers, right? They'll be below the 60. Like for example, assume that in case of Mumbai region, right, AP-South -1. You. So if you are having a Mumbai region, in Mumbai region, we'll go here. I'll go to the Mumbai region, AP-South -1. You could see that how many availability zones are there? AP-South -1A, 1B, and 1C. See, right? There are three zones are available. These three zones are available, three data centers, guys. You have to consider it as a data centers, right? And these three data centers are apart from between a distance less than 60 kilometers. Right. For example, I don't know much about the place. Assume that one data center is in the Dadar. Assume that there's a location Dadar in Mumbai. And one more location is known as a Vashi is there, which is something like 30, 40 kilometers outskirts of Mumbai, if I'm not wrong. So there they have set up one data center under Vashi, one data center in Dadar, and one data center somewhere outside in the national highway, somewhere in some location. Like for example, I don't know, don't remember some places, but so they will be, all these three data centers will be scattered in a distance between 30 to 60 kilometers. Right? Correct, guys? Okay. Am I clear,
Sir.
sir?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now the thing is that actually that for every availability zones, right? This is nothing but for APF and South F1, right? You know that this is the region actually. This is because the Mumbai region. Okay, and under the Mumbai region, there are three availability zones are there, and those availability zones are identified with the name APF and South F1A, 1B, and 1C, like this. Right? So each and every availability zone itself is a data center actually. It could be a single data center or it could be a multiple data center within the same location, right? For example, if you go to your, I'll get some good diagrams when you go with Azure data centers, Azure data center images. See guys, this is a very big data center of Azure actually. If you open in here, see, it's such a big building, you see. You could see even this trucks, right? Whatever your truck you're seeing, right? This looks very small, right? So such a big data center is there. So in this such a big data center, guys, you will have everything. Here, if you go inside this building, right, you will see that there are so many big racks are set up actually, storage area set up, all networking set up, all your cooling system, power, electricity, 24/7, water supply. So all those things are available in this entire big data center actually. So consider this one big data center is something like here, APFN South FN 1A. That means that in the Dadar region, in Mumbai Dadar region, in Dadar place, they have this big data center actually. Like the same better data centers will be available in other region actually, other not region, other availability zone. Again with the other availability zone. Like this, there are three data centers are there, and these three data centers together they call it as APF and FN South 1, which is nothing but Mumbai region they call. And all these three data centers are connected to each other. Physically, they are connected. Means that there will be a very big, long network cables, optical network cables will lie down from the APFN South FN 1A to 1B. Similarly, what happened? Suppose you are APFN South FN 1A data center is in Dadar, and if this data center is there in Mumbai, there is a place known as Vashi actually, right? They might have laid down the wires, everything, cabling, everything from Dadar to the Mumbai actually. From the Mumbai, again, somewhere in express highway in NH, somewhere they would have set up some other new data center. That is APF and South Mumbai. Again, from here, so all these three data centers are connected each other with a dedicated network cable. That we call it as a backbone network. Backbone network. So every cloud service provider, like for example, Amazon, they have a backbone network actually. So this is the dedicated network, dedicated network cabling done by the Amazon itself actually, right? Amazon itself, that we call as a backbone networks, and they use all those latest optic cables. They will use it actually. They will use all latest technology, whatever the digital technology we have today, right, to set up everything. They use all those fast fiber technologies. They use it for connecting actually, and you could see that this cabling, it could be either in the land, inside the land, it would be inside the land, the cabling would be, and even inside the water also. You could see that actually there are so many regions are there which are separate towards the water, right? Between India to US, actually, you could see that actually there is not a complete land connectivity is not there. You will find sea below the sea also. They have set up the whole like cabling and all, right? There are some big chambers and all, some big pipes they have laid off where the cable comes actually, like the some big wire cables goes, and you will see that Amazon has a lot of engineers actually who go inside this water actually, through some big vessel actually. They go inside it and they enter into that place where all those wiring has been done. They will go inside that chamber and they'll also fix some issues if there is some problem with the networking. But how they design in such a way that once they lay down these lines, right, they will not enter to do any kind of repairs for years together, because that kind of a technology they're using, so that there's no need to do. I mean, those cables, right, will not get burned up, guys. It will not get burned up, or it will not it will not get something like it will not get repaired also, right? It will be there forever for many years actually. Like for example, if I want to tell, like I worked at Lumen, right? Lumen Technology has their own data centers. They have their own cabling services, everything, even below the seawater also. So what I got to know that they had laid on all those wires, everything last 40, 50 years back. Still what happened? Still they have not replaced that cabling, and it's still used. The same cables are still used actually. So such kind of a technology they have adopted, so that there is no need to do, because it's again, it's a pain, right? If you if once you lay off again, so after 10 years, if you want to go and replace it, it's a lot of pain is required to do all those changes. So hence what happened, they don't do all those things. So they have their dedicated cabling system, that we call as a backbone. Similarly, Amazon company have that. Azure company or Microsoft Azure also have laid down their own network. They call it as Azure backbone network. Similarly, Google also have their own backbone network. Similarly, even the Facebook also have their own backbone network now. Even this Facebook also is investing huge money in setting the data centers throughout the globe actually, because they want to get into this cloud computing business now. Am I clear, sir? Right? Now, to make you understand a better way, let us try to take a diagram, and you will see that, understand that, consider that this is, I'm talking about the Mumbai region. This is the Mumbai region, right? And the Mumbai region code is AP-South-1, right? This is called the Mumbai region, right? Inside the Mumbai region, so guys, you have three availability zones or three data centers we have. This is availability zone 1, availability zone 2, and availability zone 3, like this. Three zones are there actually, right? So we call this as a AP-South-1A, 1B, and 1C, right? We call this as a AZs actually, availability zone, right? And these three availability zones. So these are availability zone. It's a three data centers, right, guys? Three data centers, because each and every availability zone, it had its own dedicated power supply, right? It had its own networking. It had its own cooling systems, right? So because these are data centers and it has its own power supply, everything it's there, right? Right. And these three uh, availability zones, AZ1, AZ2, and AZ3, or APF and South FM 1A, 1B, they are all interconnected with a dedicated network actually. They have their own dedicated network, right? So like here, APF and South FM 1A, it is connected to your APF and South FM 1B with the dedicated network actually, right? Similarly, both these regions, again, they are connected with this APF and South FM 1C like this, right? This is nothing but the dedicated network. This is nothing but this is the network actually. Dedicated network setup. So it means that literally they have set up all the cabling system, everything between these three availability zones. So you will be able to interconnect all these three availability zone actually. Am I clear, sir? Right? And this, whatever this network, right? This is nothing but your, whatever they are using this, they are using all those latest fiber optic cables. They're using it actually for doing all those connections actually. Right? And this is what we call it as a dedicated network, Amazon's network, we say, or else we call the Amazon backbone network. Basically. Am I clear, sir? Now you see that Rajesh, I'm having this availability zone. Assume that I'm creating some servers. I want to create some virtual machine. So what happened, right? You can go and you can create a virtual machine here under APF and South FN 1A. Right? Under this. You can even create one more virtual machine here, right? Under the 1B, APF and South FN 1C. You can even create one virtual machine under APF and South FN 1C. So you can create a virtual machine or you can create the resources in any one of this availability zone actually. Am I clear, sir? So this is something we call it as a VM, virtual machine. Right? Now, the thing is that, guys, actually, the thing is that since all these three virtual machines, they are in a three different availability zone, all these three machines can be able to communicate each other. Suppose that this virtual machine, it want to communicate to this virtual machine, which is there the APF and South 1C, they can able to easily communicate. Similarly, this virtual machine can able to communicate to this. So the interchangeably, what I'm saying that all these three virtual machines, they will be able to communicate each other because all these three virtual machines, they fall under the same region. Under the same region they fall. So whenever the servers, when they fall under the same region, it means that those virtual machines, they fall under the same subnet actually. So when they fall under the same subnet, they can do communication between them actually. It means that this virtual machine can able to ping to this virtual machine. When they ping it, you will get the response actually. Similarly, when this virtual machine, it want to do an SSH to this machine or it want to connect to this machine, it can do a SSH, it can do a WinSCP or it can do a WinRM to connect to this machine. So that is possible because all these virtual machines are falling under the same subnet. Am I clear, sir? Now the thing is that assume that Rajesh, this is my APF and South FN one. This is my one region is there. Fine, I got it. Now assume that I'm having one more region here like this. Like I am having some Singapore region. So under Singapore region, even here also you're having here also you're having some availability zones. So here also they are having three availability zones actually, like this. Okay, under these three availability zones, what you do that you try to create some virtual machines like this, right? Since what happened, right? Every region, guys, every region to region, right? What AWS has did, right? They have a dedicated network actually. Like here, what are the network cables which goes from the APM to iPhone 1, right? It goes towards your Singapore also. Here also you have the dedicated network. Here also it falls under the same network actually. I mean, it falls, there is a network is available between all the regions actually. That's what, right? You can communicate from one region to other regions, right? So you're having a network over here also. But the thing is that when you are having APF and South FN 1A as a region, and when you are creating some resources, like for example, virtual machine, And even in Singapore region, you are creating a virtual machine. By default, what happened, right? This two, suppose assume that this virtual machine want to communicate to this virtual machines, which is in some other region. So in that case, guys, you cannot communicate directly. It is not possible, right? You cannot communicate between two virtual machines which are there under two different region. You cannot do it. But between the region, between the available zone, yeah, you can communicate it because they fall under the same subnet. But when it comes to other region, this other region will be in a different subnet actually. Hence, what happened? You cannot communicate from one virtual machine which is there in one region with the another machine with in another region, some other region. You cannot directly communicate it. It is not possible, right? If you try to ping to this machine, you'll not be able to get any kind of response actually. Now, if you want to communicate between these two virtual machines, which are there in two different regions actually, then there are some concept is that something like that. We have to do something as a VPC peering. So we will learn all those things in the networking class. We have some of the VPC. Through the VPC peering, you can able to start communicating from two different virtual machines between two different regions. You can either use VPC peering. There are many other techniques are there. Like for example, you can even set up some kind of a transit gateways to communicate. Right? Or else you can even set up some kind of a open VPN or VPN you can set up to communicate. So there are many methods are there for doing communicating between two different virtual machines which are there in two different regions actually. So all those things, guys, we will be learning in our networking class. Am I clear, sir?
Okay.
Good. Now, right. So now the thing is that, guys, actually, right. So now, what we have understood in a very broad fashion that actually that Amazon has set up so many regions actually. Like for example, they are set up under the Northern Virginia. They have set up. Similarly, they have set up some region in Mumbai, because a region actually, and they have set up something in like Tokyo or Singapore or Tokyo. So you could see that they have set up. No, they have set up so many regions actually, right? North Virginia, and this is something we call it as a Mumbai region, and this is something like a Tokyo region actually. Correct? And we know that all these regions, they are having a dedicated network which is connected between them actually. This we call the backbone network actually, right? Backbone network. Right? Backbone network. Now, the thing is that, guys, actually, even we have our common network is also there, right? We are having a common network, right? This is called it as a global network, right? Global internet. Whatever you're having a global internet, right? So this is pertaining to the AWS because AWS will manage their own network, right? This is something like AWS is managing. They're having their own networks, everything. So they have their own network like this, actually. This is your complete AWS, actually. This is a complete AWS cloud. So they are managing everything internally by their own dedicated backbone network, everything, right? But whereas we have a global internet also, right? So now what happened? Suppose assume that I'm sitting in my laptop here. I'm sitting in my laptop. This is my server machine actually, right? This is my laptop where I'm sitting it actually. I want to connect to the AWS cloud actually. So usually what happened, right? I have to send a request to through the global internet. Through the global internet, what happened, you will connect to your AWS account network, and from the AWS account network, you will connect to that particular region where you want to access or where you want to create some kind of a resources like this. This is how it happens actually. Right. So how they do it actually? Everything happens to the web actually, to the web service actually. So what they have did, right? This Amazon, what they have did basically, they have said that okay, whenever you want to access our resources or our cloud computing resources, you need to first log into our website like https:// aws.amazon.com. Like that, they will tell you, please join, please use this URL. Right. Once you log into this URL, it will ask you to create an account actually. You need to create an account. Once you have an account, you will be logging in with your account with some credentials. Yeah. Once you log in it, what happened, right? You will get a complete access to your AWS cloud actually. Once you get an account, yeah, you'll be. So once you log in with your account, then what happened, right? You send a request, all right? You send a request to through the internet, and through the internet, what happened? The request will be sent to the AWS cloud network, and from the AWS cloud network, you will be read to some particular region where you'll be sitting and you'll be doing all kind of you'll be managing all the things, all the resources you'll be managing by sitting into that particular region. Actually, this is how it happens. Actually, am I clear, sir? So how all these things are happening? Because your Amazon has designed all those web services. With the help of a web service itself, what happened? You're able to log in into the particular region and you're working actually. And with the help of one account actually. Without an account, you cannot access any kind of a resource, right? You need to have an account. Once you have an account, once you authenticate with your account, then only what happened, you will be allowed you to enter into the AWS network. And through the AWS network, you land into the particular region where you'll be sitting and you'll be creating a resources actually. Correct, sir? Fine, good. Okay. So, guys, as I said, right, like I will be stopping in today's session because I have to go out now. So, what we'll do basically, we'll stop it here. What are the next thing which we will, what is the next class we'll be doing, right? Tomorrow morning, like Monday morning, we'll have a next session, AWS next day 4 session. Tomorrow, what I will do basically, I will try to continue from here itself, next class. Right. So basically, like when we are choosing a particular region, suppose for example, you got some customer actually. Suppose you got some customer from India, and he said that actually, okay, I need to do all my migration activity to the AWS cloud. Actually, okay, you give me the complete plan of how you're going to do the migration activity. Okay, which region you're going to choose it, and where will be my data will be placed, right? So obviously, I am being an AWS architect. I need to give a best solution to my end customer requirement, right? So I have to tell him, okay, you please, we will go with the APFN South FN1, that is a Mumbai region, because our client is also from India only. So I will be migrating all the data details, all the application database, virtual machine, everything under the Mumbai region only. And also I will be keeping all his data very much securely in the Mumbai region only. So I'll just go with best with the region of Mumbai only, right? Because my customer is an Indian customer, it is always better that I will go with the Indian region, right? Why I will go with the US region or some other region, right? So I will try to give the best possible solution for him. That is one thing. And second is the important is the cost actually. Sometime what happen, guys, one region might the cost wise, right? What happen, guys? The cost is not same across all the regions, right? Northern Virginia cost is slightly more compared to the Mumbai region cost actually. Whenever you suppose you are creating any virtual machine, the cost of virtual machine in India, what you create, it is less compared to the Northern Virginia. So when you if you get some big customer where he want to set up a very big infrastructure, right? It's not like with one or two machines. They will be needing hundreds of servers actually. Lot of storages they needed actually, and lot of load balancer they needed. So a lot of networking stuff they need, a lot of storage they required. In that case, in such a big scale, actually, cost plays a very vital role. So you need to choose a region in such a way that you can optimize the cost for your client actually. So you will be choosing a best region where you can provide all the service to your end customer, as well as the cost also you need to optimize it so that it will not burden that much to your customer actually. So all those are design aspects actually we say. So what we do that whatever the best practices we follow to choose a particular region for our project, right? That is also one of the important use case which usually they ask in interview. They'll ask you that, okay, you complete the whole architecting of everything. Now you tell me like how you're going to go with choosing a particular region. What is the best practice you'll follow while choosing a region, and how you're going to reduce any kind of a cost optimization? Do you have any kind of a plan? Do you have any kind of information on how you are going to help your customer to reduce the cost? So that is one of the very important question which they ask always in every interview they ask actually. So we will be learning about that also. Apart from that, what we do, guys, apart from that, we will try to learn the basic networking concept we will learn in next class. Okay, and also we'll be learning about the what is an IP address, or about what is a public network, private IP address, public IP address, all such things we will try to learn, and also try to learn about what are the different. Come on, what are the and what is it? Class of IP addresses, right? And we will learn about the subnetting. So next two sessions, I think, guys, two more sessions, I'll be covering this basics part actually. After that, we will dive into the AWS networking. Am I clear, sir? Okay. Okay, fine, sir. So that's all for the day, guys. The next today evening, guys, we'll be having a Git session at 7 p.m. IST. Right? Raju, is it fine? Raju bhai, 7 p.m. IST? ठीक रहेगा आपके लिए? Yeah. Hmm? Fine, guys. So 7 p.m. IST today we will meet for the Git. I think today's Git date session, right? We'll continue the date session. I think I have to continue from the branching itself. So where we left yesterday, right? So today we'll meet at 7 p.m. IST. Am I clear, sir? So with that, let me stop the session, guys. Let me stop the recording.